But the government's tussle with foreign institutional investors over the minimum alternate tax has been blown out of proportion. That is the word coming in from top government sources. We've seen some rapid developments on this story over the last few hours. First, the Minister of State for Finance, Jayant Sinha, told Parliament that tax notices have been sent to 68 entities for 603 crore rupees. Now, government sources explained to us that figure. They say that the 68 entities are the cases where the assessment is complete, and hence that number of 603 crore rupees to Parliament. But of course, other show cause notices have yet not been replied to or are being assessed by the department, and that will then add to the figure. But they also point out that far from the 40,000 crore rupee rumoured liability or reported liability, which government sources claim the finance minister never corroborated, as was seen to be, they believe that the liability should not exceed 6 to 7,000 crore rupees. Sapna joins us now with the details. Sapna, many twists and turns. We now have clarity on how that 603 crore rupee figure has been arrived at, and we're also being told very clearly that the total liability should not exceed 6,000 to 7,000 crore rupees, and we may be seeing this figure on the higher side because about 70 to 80% of the cases where show cause notices have been sent can avail of treaty benefits.
Well, the numbers are changing, and how? Government has now clarified that 603 crores is in terms of the assessments which are already over, and there are a lot of pending assessments still remaining. So the overall number that they may actually look at in terms of raising demands would be on 6 to 7,000 crores. But this would also probably might have to be looked in the context of the tax treaty benefit, or rather treaty benefit that FPIs will now be availing. The CBDT has already issued a circular saying that such claims will have to be settled within a month of the FPI, kind of filing such a claim, 1 month from that time onwards. So it now remains to be seen whether the 6 to 7,000 crore demand mark will actually be reached. But definitely in terms of the 40,000 crore number that people were talking about earlier, this is a very, very realistic number the government is talking about. They've also indicated that the math issue regarding FPIs has been blown out of proportion. The numbers are actually showing that. And earlier on, there was actually no confirmed. The 40,000 crore number was not actually confirmed formally by the government so far. So the clear number would now be 6 to 7,000 crores. But as I just said, remains to be seen what impact the treaty shelter.
Absolutely, the treaty benefit is likely to bring that figure lower. Sapna, thanks very much for joining us. Ashwin Parekh, managing partner of Ashwin Parekh Advisory Services, also joins us. Mr. Parekh, come in on this curious case of developments. Our government sources tell us that the total liability, as far as this FII MAT issue is concerned, may not exceed 6,000 to 7,000 crore rupees. In fact, it may be lower because of majority of the cases may avail of the treaty benefits under the DTAs. Do you believe that this is a case which has been handled poorly from a communication standpoint?
Clearly. What seems to be happening is, and all along, the FIIs have very clearly indicated that they are looking at investments in India, but they would expect a lot of clarity, and they would expect, clarity for long term to prevail. Any measure that suddenly comes up, and disturbs either the returns that they would have on the investment that they would have put up in India with the assumptions on taxation and various other assumptions, disturbs the whole thing. Now, we've been tossing the numbers. In the beginning, it was rumored that the total amount of tax that CBDT would be able to collect would be of a certain amount. We're talking about 40,000 crores. Now we are saying, and then 2 days ago, there was a clarification. And thanks for the clarification. It's just to remind people of what is already available as a right to them in terms of claiming DTA, basically. It was always there. There was absolutely nothing new to that clarification, except that we must thank the Ministry of Finance, to have at least pointed out to those who are entitled to that.
And I must point out here, Mr. Parekh, that on the 13th of April, in a conversation with us, the Revenue Secretary very clearly said that FPIs will have the window of the DTA relief if they are eligible. So, this is a story that we've, of course, been tracking very closely. But before I let you go, Jayant Sinha is saying that 603 crore rupees is the amount where the assessment, and that's what we're given to understand from our sources, that amount is on account of the assessments where the assessments are now complete. Of course, show cause notices pending assessment, we will probably see that figure move up. But do you think that this is now the end of the story as far as this big MAT tussle is concerned?
Well, no, not really, because now we will have to see what kind of show cause notices are issued, what kind of demand is raised by the department. Then I suppose we'll get a clear picture. So it may evolve, I mean, as and when the show cause notice and the demands are raised by the department.
Well, it is an evolving story, isn't it? Ashwin Parekh, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Many thanks for joining us with a quick reaction to the developments as far as the MAT FI